Today on the Trent Out Loud podcast. Our girl, Cassie Ventura, just got off the stand after a grueling week of testimony and cross-examination. But let me tell y'all this. I don't care what Diddy's overpriced attorneys try to do to Cassie on that stand. Diddy, you going to jail, bruh. Y'all should be ashamed of yourself trying to cross up Cassie like she's in the NBA playoffs. I'm calling a foul on Diddy's defense team. Flagrant foul, technical foul. All y'all lawyers, get to the bench. Yes, I know I'm mixing up football and basketball. These flags are for football, but yo, I'm a football player, all right? Flag on the play. I don't care, man. Technicals for everybody. Now, I normally don't do this, but today we're going to have a special edition of Comments of the Day. I saw some of y'all ladies, some of y'all coming for me in the comment section. We're going to have a conversation. Now, don't try to skip the episode. We got a lot of information about the Cassie trial, and we have a good show. Just watch the show like normal and wait till you get to the comment section. I'll know if y'all fast forward, and I'll call a flag on the play. You know I don't play. What up? It's Trent Out Loud, and I'm back with another episode. All right, this is a special Friday night edition of the Trent Out Loud podcast. Cassie just got off the stand. Diddy's defense team just wrapped up their cross-examination, and we could not wait until Sunday night, Monday morning to get this information out to you. So we decided to give you a special edition Friday night. This might dub as a Sunday night, Monday morning podcast. We're not too sure. We'll see what happens over the weekend in entertainment and pop culture. If enough is going on, we will still be giving you a Sunday night, Monday morning episode. But for now, this is your special edition Friday night. All right. We have a great show set up for you guys today. We have two lead stories. We're going to kick it off by talking about Cassie's last day on the stand. We'll break everything down for you. Also, Chris Brown is being held in police custody all the way in England until June. We'll give you guys all that information. And in quick news, we're going to talk Foot Locker, Don Richard, Diddy seeking a pardon from Donald Trump. And that doesn't come from me or my sources. That is coming from Rolling Stones magazine. Also, the largest plantation home in the country just burned down due to a fire. As always, we're going to close out the show with Comments of the Day. We have a special edition of Comments of the Day today. We're going to have a conversation. And also, social discussion. Oh, actually, we're not doing social discussion, and we're not doing question of the day. We do have a little bit of sports news. It's a special edition, y'all. Y'all know what time it is. Turn your TVs and radio or your devices up. I'm about to start this show. Let's go. Our first lead story. Cassie Ventura has officially wrapped her week-long testimony. And before we get into it, round of applause for Cassie, man. That must have been so hard for her to do. We talked about this a couple of days ago in the comment section when somebody said she's done a good job and she was super brave. But let's start off and give her a round of applause, a second round of applause, man. She did amazing. Her family, her mom, dad, brother, husband, like that must have just been exhausting. Just imagine what they went through. Regardless of whose side you're on, you have to admit that that has to have been super traumatic for all of them to relive that. I'm so happy for her that she gets to finally put this behind her. Hopefully she takes a week or 2 weeks and doesn't even look at the trial. She's about to have her baby in the next couple of days. And I think it's such divine timing that she gets to put this behind her and then just go on with her life right at the beginning of her third baby's life. I thought it was just divine intervention. So I want to start off with that. Second thing that I want to start off with is just like yesterday, I just want to give you guys a summary of the day-ish. And then we're going to get into the weeds of things. I'm going to read you guys some stuff. There's some bombshell transcripts I have from the day. A lot of stuff is going on. But I want to read you guys some things that people that I know in the courtroom told me. And I want to just get that out the way first. Okay, so it is a summary. They showed that Cassie and Diddy were in and that they were affectionate with each other after the CNN video. I'm going to give you guys some more details. That's just one highlight. Showed that Cassie was, she wanted to put hands on a gentleman by the name of Jonathan Oddie. If you guys don't know who that is, he is an alleged I'm going to have to bleep that out. He is an alleged sex worker. There's apparently an NDA that he got paid $5 million. One of the bombshell things that came out today was that Cassie wanted to put hands on him and actually unalive him. We're going to get into that. Another big thing that came out today, and all four people that I know in the courtroom all told me this. A female black juror, I think it's the one who's the 23 or 24-year-old African, she says that she saw her shaking her head with the inconsistencies in Cassie's testimony when it came to R wording. And another person told me about 3 or 4 men on the jury were seen shaking their head in disbelief of Cassie's testimony. I still feel like she had a strong day. Yes, there was some points made on the defense side. We're going to get into it. But this is the first time that I've heard that the jurors gave some sort of visual indication of how they were feeling. From before today, I heard that they were stoic. That's the word I've heard, that they were just not flinching, not doing anything. You couldn't read. A lot of times you could read stuff that's on jurors' face. This is the first time I've heard, and unfortunately, it was due to some of the inconsistencies in her testimony. We're going to get into that, okay? We also found out that Diddy wanted them to go to couples counseling, and the biggest thing that I had a conversation with somebody today, and I really wanted to start this show off with this, and I think it's something that I was looking for, and I'm sure some of you might have been looking for it too, but there is no evidence. There is no concrete evidence of force, fraud, or coercion. That is why we are going to trial. If there was a text message, video, email, then Diddy would have just pled guilty and we wouldn't even be going to trial. Let me explain that. I have said pretty much all this week that, hey, Cassie's testimony, this, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's a testimony. That's her word. But the prosecution doesn't have any evidence saying where Diddy said exactly, if you don't do this, if you don't do that, I am going to release the freak off tapes. That would be sex trafficking under force, fraud, or coercion. And I kept on saying, and a bunch of people have kept on saying, where is the hard facts? Where is the voicemail? Where is the text message saying that he said that? And what somebody pointed out to me today was they're a lawyer. That's actually not even at the trial, but that's the reason why we're going to court. And it was literally like an eye-opening experience. I was like, oh yeah, obviously, if they had that piece of evidence showing that, then of course Diddy would just plead guilty. So what this whole entire trial, the reason why we're having this whole entire trial is because they don't have that. And for the next 6 weeks, the prosecution is going to try to show as much evidence as they can to make the jury feel like there was force, fraud, or coercion. They do not have that exact wording, but the next 6 weeks, they're going to try to show that he indirectly suggested that and Cassie felt that. Now, it's still going to be difficult because a jury of your peers, a jury of 12, has to unanimously all agree that Diddy indirectly forced fraud or coercion her to have sex with people. And that's what the defense is going to do. Hey, the prosecution is going to try to show you this, but we're going to try to show you where he isn't. That's why we're at trial. Maybe some of you had already realized that. I'm sure I've had a couple of conversations and even people who were in the courtroom. And I was like, yeah, I spoke with a lawyer today. And they're like, oh, wow, that makes total sense. We all keep looking. And I see people online. Where's the evidence that Diddy did that? Where's the evidence that Diddy said this? Clearly, there is no evidence. light bulb moment. Anyways, love for you to tell me what you guys think about that in the comment section. Okay, let's get on into some details, okay? Prosecution cites Cassie's pregnancy to limit testimony to the end of the day. This is how the day started off. Just going to go over this really quickly, okay? Prosecutors are pulling the baby card to limit the defense counsel's cross-examination of Cassie till the end of the day. Here's the deal. Federal prosecutors filed a letter with the court Friday in an attempt to prevent the defense questioning of Cassie on the witness stand from spilling into next week. Okay, the day started off with the defense team being dirty, being like, oh, we might have to cross-examine her up until next week when they know Cassie is big and pregnant and can pop at any time. The prosecution was like, yo, don't try to play those games. And the judge mostly sided with them and was like, listen, if you have to go to next week, that's fine, because we definitely want to give you a chance to defend your client. That's fine. But now it makes sense why you were kind of like dragging your feet yesterday while you were telling us a bunch of things that weren't really important. You're trying to drag this out so that y'all could have a mistrial and be like, oh, we still need to cross-examine Cassie, but now she can't come because now she's in labor. Very dirty. But like I told you guys a couple of days ago, Diddy did dirty things, and he's going to have to try to play dirty to try to get a mistrial and also grounds for appeal. Hey, the judge really wouldn't give us enough time to cross-examine. These are dirty little tricks defense attorneys are going to do. I'll just jump ahead of this quickly to let you guys know. They actually had to change of heart, I guess, or maybe they felt like they were getting called out too much, and they actually finished cross-examining Cassie, I think around 3:30, and then a special agent came on, and actually Don Richards actually finished out the day. So they were able to come back on track. That's what I really like about this judge. He's really, really fair, and it's going to be hard for Diddy to get a mistrial, but it's a tactic, and we're going to get into the comments of the day of like how I'm going to start letting you guys know about legal tactics and how I feel. I'm going to start letting you guys know more personally how I feel. Personally, it's dirty, 100% sure, but defense lawyers do these things all the time, okay? Now, next one is the Diddy trial. I'm not a ragdoll. Cassie texts after 2016 putting hands. This was shown in court. The jury was shown more text exchanges between Diddy and Cassie, this time from April 2010 regarding freak-offs. A text from Cassie reads, I want to talk to you about something tomorrow. Going to sleep. Love you. Diddy responds, is it going to stress me out? What is it about? Cassie said, freak offs. It can wait. Not a big deal. Diddy says, now you don't want to do it anymore? Oh, I already know. You're so predictable. Cassie said, really? Question mark. Okay. Since that's definitely what it was, we'll leave it at that then. Since I'm so predictable, have a good night. Diddy said, whatever, baby, I'm not going to play no games with you, and you ain't going to keep shutting me down. Cassie, I'm not shutting you down. I never do. If anything, it's always the other way around. I wasn't going to say I didn't want to do it anymore. After the ragdoll text, the jury was shown a text exchange between Diddy and Cassie referencing the weekend of the Intercontinental Hotel incident. A text from Diddy reads, I felt that way from Friday. What's going on? Ventura responded, not a good vibe. We need a different vibe than Friday. Diddy says, F Friday, laugh out loud. I don't even want to do that again. Cassie answered, laugh out loud, true. Following more text messages, the exchange ends with Ventura writing, love you. Diddy putting hands on Cassie caught on camera in the hotel hallway is time and date stamped March the 5th, 2016, a Saturday. Testimony has confirmed some of the former couple's alleged freak-off lasted 12 hours or longer. It's unclear exactly what the text exchange is directly referring to. Jurors were shown a text message Cassie sent to Diddy on March the 10th, 2016, 5 days after the infamous incident at the Intercontinental Hotel in LA captured on security video showing Diddy putting hands on Cassie in the hallway. When you get effed up the wrong way, you want to show me that you have the power and you knock me around. I'm not a rag doll. I'm someone's child, the text message reads. The defense's approach has been attempting to show a loving relationship between Cassie and Diddy during their lengthy relationship in an effort to bolster their position that she consented to the terms of the relationship and chose to stay in it. Now, yesterday I read you guys some text messages from the beginning of the relationship where Cassie says that when she started the relationship, she was kind of into the freak offs. And then she testified that she grew to not like them and wanted to stop, but then she was afraid to tell him. And then I ended off yesterday by showing you guys one text message from 2017 with her saying that she still likes them. Now, I have a little bit more here today, but why I think Diddy's defense team is making a mistake showing this, especially after the Intercontinental Hotel video, is this is showing evidence of Cassie clearly being afraid to tell him that she doesn't want to do these things. If this text message is happening 5 days after, isn't it clear that she's afraid to say anything? Does it look like on that videotape that she wants to go back to that room? It clearly shows that she doesn't want to go back. So showing these text messages of saying, yeah, well, F Friday, yeah, let's not do that again. And even Diddy saying, let's not do that again. And her saying, hey, I want to talk to you. It's clear evidence showing that, like, hey, she doesn't feel safe enough to come out and be like, yo, this is not happening. I'm done with this. And her trying to kind of indirectly say it, and that is showing fear. And I feel like yesterday they made more headway with the text message, and they literally just, that little door that they opened, literally just slammed it shut on their own fingers, because you clearly can see that she doesn't feel comfortable telling him exactly how she feels. But we saw her literally hiding in the corner in the videotape, where the only way that she was able to feel comfortable around Diddy was when the security guard was around there. And we know that the security guard was big and stocky around Diddy. That's the only way that she was able to get her bag and leave. Very clear. Anyway, so I thought it was a huge mistake. Next thing that we're going to go to is alleged SEX worker vindicated by Cassie's testimony. All right, this is what I told you in the beginning about Jonathan Audie. Just want to give you guys some more context with this. Cassie Ventura is testifying about a now imprisoned SEX worker who claimed way back in 2018 that he was Diddy's SEX worker. And while everybody thought he was crazy back then, he seems vindicated now. Diddy's attorney, Anna, grilled Cassie about a male escort, Jonathan Audie, and a 2013 incident where she suspected Audie had recorded one of their freak-off encounters. In court, Anna played an audio recording of Cassie threatening a DJ she believed had possession of that video. She's heard berating him to prove he really had the video. If you have it, pull it out, or I'll unalive you, and he will unalive you again. The he appears to be referring to Diddy. The DJ's response, he wasn't disrespectful, so he wouldn't play it in front of her, and Cassie fires back, if you don't show me, I will do something really bad to you, all right? On the stand, Cassie confirms it was her on the recording and recalls she just didn't trust Audie. This explosive exchange seems to support Audie's recent claims during a News Nation interview that Diddy and Cassie had threatened him during the settlement negotiations. It also makes Audie's claim that he had SEX with Cassie more than a dozen times a little bit more believable. He first dropped that jewel to police who were questioning him about getting into a 2018 incident at Donald Trump's hotel in Miami. Back then, everybody thought he was off his rocker, but Cassie's testimony makes the story less outlandish and way closer to the truth than we even suspected. By the way, Audie's currently still doing time for what he did at the Trump Hotel, all right? Don't get caught up with the Trump Hotel. This has nothing to do. Audie is just a madman, okay? And he got his $5 million allegedly from Diddy to keep quiet. Why they are showing this audio or playing this audio is, like I said when we started off, Cassie and the prosecutors are going to show Diddy in a bad light to make you believe that he is guilty of force, fraud, and coercion. And Diddy's defense team is going to show that Cassie is no angel. And I feel like this is, again, another huge mistake. Cassie is in a club talking to a DJ that's throwing off his mouth in a club saying, I got a video of you. I have this of you and Diddy. And she's saying, yo, I'm going to unalive you. I'm going to do this to you. I'm going to do that to you. Give me my video. Does that make her guilty of sex trafficking, force, fraud, and coercion? Like, are you guys trying to say that like that Cassie should be on trial? Like, who wouldn't be talking to a DJ like that if a DJ was like, yo, I got, one of your freak offs on tape? You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, I'm not excusing her. I'm not saying what she did was right. I mean, yes, she should have maybe called the police or do whatever. But like, I just feel, again, I understand why the defense team is trying to bring it up. They're trying to show that she wasn't an angel, but I feel like this is bad because who wouldn't act like that with a DJ in a club saying that? He clearly didn't come up to her and be like, hey, I want to help you, or hey, this guy is out here telling you this. You know what I'm saying? So whatever, I thought that was a really bad look. And I feel like Cassie had every right to do that. And who wouldn't, right? Okay. Next one is Cassie testifies on the stand that I had an affair with an NFL player. Well, that she had an affair with an NFL player. Cassie Ventura just testified on the stand at Diddy's trial that she once stepped out on the rap mogul with an NFL player. The 38-year-old made the revelation as a Diddy attorney was questioning her about one of the many toxic encounters she had with her former boyfriend during their tumultuous relationship. Anna stated to Cassie back in 2016, Combs took her phone after he suspected she had been unfaithful to him with an NFL athlete. Cassie testified that she recalled the incident, but did not reveal the man's identity. I don't know if he's playing anymore, she said in response. Anna then pivoted the conversation to Chris Brown, saying Diddy exhibited similar phone snatching behavior when he thought she had been dancing with the R&B artist. Cassie appeared to confirm the incident as well, though she insisted I was not dancing with him. The line of questioning seemed to be another attempt by Diddy's team to show his violent behavior towards Cassie was horrific, but not related to sex trafficking or racketeering crimes that he's been charged with. As for the footballer who Cassie says she hooked up with, he's still yet to be ID'd, but she is expected to remain on the stand until the end of the day Friday, and it's entirely possible the topic gets approached again at some point. Stay tuned. All right, so Cassie didn't say anything about this, but again, this is Diddy's team. They're saying here like, oh, they're bringing it up to show that when he put hands on her, it was in no way for the SCS trafficking charge, not at all. It had to do with the fact that it was over boyfriends, it was over Chris Brown, it was over when he took her phone, and he never did any of that stuff to try to get her to do any of the SEX acts. And also they're trying to just paint her in a bad light, saying that, oh, yeah, you cheated on him. You know what I'm saying? And again, I thought they had a bad day. Again, I think after you see that video and after you see the text messages and after you see that she's having a problem, I feel like them trying to show Diddy and reminding the jurors, yo, yeah, Diddy put hands on you, right? But it's only when he was jealous. Like, I get what they're trying to do, but they're still jurors. I keep on saying this is not AI. There's still jurors. There's 8 men on that jury. There's 4 women. Hopefully, most of those men would never put their hands on a woman. And they're just going to be like, bro, like, leave her. Why are you doing that? You know what I mean? Like, that just looks bad. So I get what they're trying to do, but I think it looks really bad on them. Next thing is, Cassie said on the stand that she does not hate Diddy, and she testified that she loves the past. Now, we're not going to get into this. I feel like this was just the defense trying to trip Cassie up. The line of questioning exactly was, do you hate Diddy? And she said, no, I don't hate him. Well, are you in love with him? She's like, well, I love our past. Let's just not even waste time on that, because I felt like that was just a waste of time. They're obviously trying to make it seem as if like she hates him and she's just out to get him, and she's not literally just trying to vindicate herself. Because I think, when was it? Maybe during her testimony or yesterday during cross-examination, they said, why you went civilly and now you're here testifying. Why are you doing this? And she said, I just can't take living like this anymore. I'm trying to vindicate myself. So they're trying to get her caught up and be like, oh, you're doing this because you hate him. Okay. Anyways, Cassie, I went to therapy, but not for sex addiction. Cassie Ventura says she sought out treatment for post-traumatic stress disorder after struggling with mental health, getting treatment for traumatic memories. The singer is being cross-examined in court by Diddy's defense team, and she testified Friday she once spent 45 days with Willow House in Arizona in early 2023, explaining therapists there helped her recall memories as part of trauma therapy. Diddy's defense attorney, Anna, said the treatment center works with folks who are experiencing sex compulsion and love addiction, but Cassie says she was not treated for those conditions. The Willow House website says it's a program for women focusing on healing from intimacy and relationship issues, love and sex addiction, emotional trauma, and dual diagnoses. Cassie says her brain was hooked up to a machine and it helped regulate her brain waves. She also said she did EMDR, eye movement desensitization, and reprocessing as a part of the memory processing. She told the jury she would get neurofeedback about once a week during treatment. Cassie also testified she was prescribed buprenorphine, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, for a DRUG addiction in 2022 and is still taking the medication. That is the DRUG that her and Diddy said they both took together and called themselves the High Partners. Now, y'all know I'm a huge mental health advocate, so I'm sensitive when it comes to this. And actually, the next story talks about bipolar. I think maybe this is what made me even more upset with the defense team. I feel like they're trying to indirectly say that Cassie was an sex addict, and Cassie was like, no, that's not why I went there. Yes, this place does treat people for that, but they also treat people for emotional trauma, and that's what she went there for. That's dirty. That's dirty. Somebody is going to get help, and that's to the extent of how low you're going to try to go to defend Diddy. That's crazy work. If anybody from Cassie's camp ever sees this, applaud you for going to get help, whatever the help is. I suggest, just my own mental health suggestion, look into cognitive behavior therapy. That's the type of therapy I do. We're not going to get into that, but it has changed my life, and it has helped so many people that I know and that I have helped whenever I'm doing mental health talks. And there's a bunch of different therapies, and it's also good to do different types. But I feel like Cassie, especially putting this behind her, I feel like she needs to do cognitive behavior therapy. It will change her life. So anybody out there that's in the Cassie camp, please get this to Cassie, all right? I've actually put out some calls to some sources close to her camp that I know to try to get that message to her. I know I ain't no therapist, but hey, you never know. Some advice from anybody who knows, right, can help. So I hope it gets to her. Okay. Now, raising possible bipolar disorder. Now, this is Cassie who actually did this. Well, kind of indirectly. Diddy's defense attorney, Anna, seems like she's trying to imply that Cassie believes his alleged 2018 R-word may be related to bipolar disorder. The issue was brought up in court Friday when Anna was asking Cassie about what she told investigators about Diddy's alleged R-wording her in 2018 after they had a conversation at dinner about breaking up. Anna asked Cassie what she told investigators, and Cassie said Diddy was acting nice but strangely at dinner and wasn't in his right mind because when she asked him to stop R-wording her, he did not respond. Diddy's attorney then asked Cassie straight up if she told the feds his behavior that night could be attributed to his bipolar disorder. Cassie responded, I guess so. This is the first time Diddy's defense is mentioning bipolarity, and it's fair to wonder if they are bringing it up for a reason. Diddy's mentioned bipolar disorder before. In an old interview, he shared how he went to therapy after breaking up with Jennifer Lopez back in the day. Diddy told the magazine, I've been called bipolar. I'm not. I just have very drastic mood swings. All right. Don't get me heated now. Don't Kanye West this. Diddy and Diddy's defense team. Kanye. Cassie said this at a time not implementing this now, okay? And I know the defense is defensing, but this is disgusting. Let's just leave it at that, okay? Last one, and then we're going to go to some tweets. I'm lost without you. Text while dating Alex Fine. All right, this is about Diddy and Cassie's relationship when she met and after she met her boyfriend. We're going to go to this, and then we're going to go to some text messages, okay? Cassie and Diddy stayed in touch after they broke up and while she was dating her now husband, Alex Fine. And she said she had consensual sex with Diddy after the time that he R-worded her. Cassie testified the last time she had sex with Diddy was September the 27th, 2018, after Cassie alleges Diddy R-worded her following a breakup dinner, and the next day she told him she had a great time with him. A couple of weeks later, in October 2018, Diddy told Cassie he was going to fall back, but she would call him when she needed him. Cassie responded in part, "I'm lost without you." Cassie and Alex, a personal trainer, got hitched in September 2019, but the defense says Cassie and Diddy kept sending each other warm messages. In one text, Diddy tells Cassie she's his ride or die always, and one of the greatest women in the world. Cassie responds to Diddy that text blew my mind a bit. And she told him, "I don't hate you, I never have." Cassie also told Diddy in a separate exchange, "I wouldn't be at that beautiful point in my life if I hadn't been with you." She also testifies the last time she saw Diddy was November 2018 at a memorial service for Kim Porter. Cassie's cross-examination is now over, ending abruptly after the defense showed one final exchange of messages between Cassie and Diddy from 2012. In the message, Diddy asked Cassie if she wanted to have a freak off for the last time. Cassie replied that she wanted to have a freak off for the first time for the rest of our lives. So they're talking about 2017, talking 2018, but the last thing that they want the jury to know is he asked her, "Hey, do you want to do one more freak off?" "No, I don't want it to be the last. I want it to be the first for the rest of our lives." That's what they want in the jury's head. Like, the jury is not going to be smart enough to see through that. Let's go over some text messages, not text messages, sorry. Let's go over, well, there are some text messages, but transcripts from the courtroom where the prosecution is going over some of Diddy and Cassie's text messages, okay? There might be a little bit all over the place, not in order, but you guys will get the gist, okay? I just want to show you everything that happened throughout the day. Diddy's defense lawyer, Anna, "What did you write?" "I wrote, I do love you. I would just prefer not being one of your girlfriends. Let's get up tomorrow night. I'll do a studio from 6 to 9. Diddy writes, "Can I hold you or are you just breaking up with me? We can embrace, laugh out loud." "And you wanted to hug him, right?" Cassie says, "That's what I said." Now, Diddy's lawyer says, "Did you have sex with Mr. Combe after that night?" Cassie said, "Yes, I did." "And during that, your now husband FaceTimed you?" Cassie said, "Yes." Diddy's lawyer says, "Your now husband didn't know you were with Combs at that time." Cassie says, "I didn't know what he knew." Diddy's lawyer says, "Later, did he discover it?" Prosecution says, "Objection." The judge says, "Overruled." "You don't want your husband to know you were R-worded?" She says, "Not that evening." The defense is trying to show that Cassie, although she was broken up and she was with another guy, her now husband, that she was still with Diddy. And so much so that her husband FaceTimed her while she was having sex with Diddy. Now, that does not look good for Cassie, 1000%. But this is very early on in the court. We're going to bring, well, not we, the prosecution is going to bring psychologists, are going to bring people in to show that women that go through these traumatic experiences don't necessarily leave right away, etc., etc. Now, was it smart for the defense to bring this up? Yes. But like I've been saying a lot today, which I feel like the defense made some mistakes, is I feel like they laid this on too thick, as if like the defense, that the jury is not going to be able to see through this and see, just like her text messages after the CNN video, the hotel video, you see her still going back to him. So if you have proof of the CNN tape and you saw her being so afraid and running away from him, and then you see text messages going back, are you going to continue showing us that she continued going back to him? Obviously, although she still was going back to him, she was still afraid of him because he's Diddy. So while it looks bad on one foot, it still plays to the prosecution's story that she was afraid of this man and she didn't know what to do, even while she was with her now husband. So it's counterproductive. But this is what Diddy is spending millions of dollars for, is to try to get into the mind of at least one juror. We keep saying that. All they need is one juror to be like, hey, she went back to him. I asked you guys that yesterday. Coming from a male perspective, do you feel like a male, especially a male, could look at this and be like, I feel like she shouldn't have gone back to him? Can you change that one male juror's mind? I feel like the female jurors will understand, but can you change all the 8 men's way of thinking, of not looking at it plain and simple and saying, okay, hold on. Yeah, black and white. She's claiming this, but she keeps going back. Do you think that there could be one male juror that doesn't put 2 and 2 together and be like, oh, she keeps coming back, but she's scared, and that's just a result of the treatment that Diddy has put her through? Now, hopefully, the psychologist and the other experts that they bring in will be able to change these jurors' minds back. But this is what the defense team is doing. They're praying that, hey, you know what, to be honest with you, they're praying that one of the males, and maybe even some of the females, maybe some females are like, yo, I don't agree. I don't think that she should have gone back. And if she went back after she claims that he R-worded and after the hotel, that's her fault. You got to think that there might be 1 or 2 people that think that, even though we know that that's not the case. Not everybody always thinks the same way. Not everybody has that kind of that in-depth thinking, right? Anyways, let's go on. So a couple more. You say you found a photo of Mr. Combs with Gina while you were staying with your parents in Connecticut. Cassie says, yes. You decided to break up with him and he didn't threaten you, but suggested couples counseling. Cassie said, I don't know. What did you write? I wrote, I've stopped even caring. But did you care? Yeah. So he said you could date other people. Let's just talk about it, correct? Yes. Again, just trying to show, hey, Diddy's not a bad person. He said, no problem, date other people. Come on. We have all known of men and women getting into a relationships, breaking up, and the guy's like, okay, you want to date other people, but inside he's going crazy, i.e. Offset. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, Mr. Combs wrote, I want to do a freak off one last time. What did you write back? I don't want it to be the last time. I want to freak off for the first time. No further questions. The judge asked the prosecution if they want to redirect. I talked to you guys that about before. That's how they ended off, right? All right, so here's the redirect. The prosecution gets up and says, Miss Ventura, you were showing these text messages where you were ending, I don't want to freak off for the last time. I want it to be the first time for the rest of our lives. What did you say after that? Yes, I'm excited to have sex. I just got over a UTI. Again, I think that they were trying to show, okay, yes, she did that, no problem, but that was 15 years ago, bro. Prosecution. On the way back from Cannes, what did Sean do? Ventura said he played a video of me having sex with an escort. What did he say that he would do? Ventura said he'd release it. Prosecution. When you got to NYC, what did Sean ask you for? Ventura, a freak off, or he'd release it. When Sean wrote, you're ready for tonight, what did he mean? Ventura, freak off. Prosecution, what were you afraid he would do if you didn't do the freak off? Diddy's lawyers, objection. The judge says, overruled. Ventura says, I don't know that week. Judge says, next question. Okay, I want to take 2 seconds out there. So that is testimony that Diddy sex trafficked Cassie under force, fraud, or coercion. However, it's just somebody's testimony. It's not in a text message, it's not in an email, etc. Like we talked about earlier. Again, Cassie is saying this. How credible is she? There were some holes that were poked in her testimony. Is she just saying this? She went on a civil case first. She didn't report any of this to the police. The jury has to believe her. It isn't enough that she's just saying this. Hence why we are here during this 2-month trial during summer. And we have to deal with all of this because there is no hard evidence other than Cassie's word and everything else that we're going to hear in the next 5 weeks. I just wish there was some sort of text message, if there was some sort of email, or why didn't Cassie record something? We would have no problem with this. Diddy would be in jail and would be done. It's crazy. Anyways, I have a couple more. Do you have any doubt that Diddy R-worded you? Diddy's defense team says, objection. Judge says, overruled. Cassie says, I have no doubt. The prosecution says, after Sean R-worded you on August the 18th, did you later have consensual sex with Sean, during which your now husband FaceTimed you? Cassie said, yes. Were you into doing freak offs at the beginning? Cassie said, at the beginning. Prosecution says, did you tell him when you no longer wanted to do them? Cassie said, yes, more than once. Prosecution, what concerns did you have about saying no to freak offs? My safety, my career, love, meaning I didn't want to lose him. I loved him. He was my boyfriend. I was doing this to make him happy. Again, unfortunately, this is just her testimony. All right, now it's Diddy's defense team to have a few more questions at Cassie. Diddy's defense team, you stated that you were feeling overwhelmed after filing your civil lawsuit, right? Cassie said, yes. Diddy's defense team says, you recently received a settlement from the Intercontinental Hotel. Cassie said, no. Diddy's defense team said, you made a demand? Cassie said, yes, $10 million, maybe. Diddy's defense team, okay, I have one question. You just reached a $10 million settlement with the Intercontinental last week before trial. Prosecution, objection. Judge says, overruled. You have to answer. Cassie says, yes. Now, when Cassie said yes, literally social media blew up after that. It was everywhere. Cassie Ventura gets $10 million from Intercontinental Hotel. That's half of the money that she got from Diddy. She got $20 million from Diddy. She said that. Now, does that mean anything? No, but I don't know why she said maybe when she was first asked and then said yes. And that plays onto the fact of the jury kind of looking her a little sideways a couple of times today during the case, like what I told you. I think the takeaway, well, my biggest takeaway is what I told you guys from the beginning. We have to stop looking for the evidence of sex trafficking under force, fraud, or coercion. It's just not going to happen. They do not have that. I don't know if some of you knew that. I was under the impression of how steadfast the prosecution was. I was like, yo, they got to have something. And that's why every time I was talking about it, I was looking at it from that standpoint, like, yo, where is it? Where is it? Shout out to you know who. They know who they are. They said not to mention their name, but for pointing me in that direction of stopping to look for that and to just know that that's not there. It's just not going to happen. And there's a lot of people online that are like, yo, show me proof, show me proof, show me proof. It's not there. We got to give that up because we just want Diddy in jail, right? That's all everybody wants. Yo, put him away. I think even the people that don't believe everything that Cassie's saying are like, yo, put him in jail just for being such a disgusting person. But the court system, how it works is you need evidence to put somebody away. And the prosecution, we just have to accept, they don't have that evidence. So they're going to try over the next 7 weeks with great testimony, more victims, and some proof to convince 12 jurors that although they don't have a direct text message or a voicemail or Diddy, a secret hidden microphone saying, yo, unless you do this, I'm going to do that. All we have is Cassie saying, hey, on a plane, he showed me this video and he told me if I don't do freak offs that he's going to expose me. Unfortunately, the sad part is she doesn't have any concrete proof to show that. The prosecution is going to have to just do their best to convince 12 jurors that she's telling the truth and all these other people are telling the truth. Like I started off today, I think Cassie did a fantastic job. I've been saying that all week. Diddy's defense team, from a legal standpoint, we got to be fair. They have been doing a great job, although it's dirty, but that's defense, right? A lot of defense lawyers are questioned and are asked, how can you defend somebody who you know that has committed unaliving or that you know has committed R-wording or that you know has committed a crime, and you're there doing these dirty things to get your clients off? A lot of defense attorneys sometimes burn out and they're like, yo, I can't do this anymore. You know what I'm saying? And that's why some defense attorneys are looked at as not the best people in the world, because they're paid all of this money to get criminals off. And like I have been saying, even before the trial started, the reason why Diddy is paying these high price attorneys and these 8 lawyers that he has, Diddy knows the best way that he can get off of this is through a mistrial or through appeal. I have something for you guys in quick news about a pardon, which is Diddy's last ditch effort. Are there some grounds so far? There are some grounds. Unfortunately, it sucks. But we're going to talk a little bit more about that in comments of the day as well. So that was Cassie's day. Let me know what you guys think about all of this. What a week. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Our second lead story. All right, we're going to get through this quickly. Chris Brown denied bail, must remain in police custody until June court date. Grammy Award-winning singer Chris Brown was denied bail and ordered to be held in custody Friday after appearing in a British courtroom to face allegations that he put hands on a music producer with a bottle in a London nightclub in 2023. It looks like Chris Brown has officially been charged in his UK case that led him to be arrested in Manchester. Chris has officially been charged with 1 count of putting hands on people after authorities say that he allegedly did something to a DJ upside his head with a bottle. All right, in 2023, he was reportedly in court this morning around 10 a.m. Manchester time. My gosh. Chris Brown's concert were scheduled to continue, but now that he is not being released, obviously they're going to cancel them. The thing I don't understand about Chris Brown is, how did his people not know that this was going on and not know to not go to England? He must know that this was going on. This is some celebrity type, yo, I can't be touched. And we are learning very quickly in 2025 that these celebrities are no longer walking on water, bro. You have Shannon Sharp, you have DDG, you got Diddy, you got Chris Brown. And every time I talk about Chris Brown, I'm on the fence and I ask you guys, what do you think? Rihanna forgave him this, Karrueche, whatever, blah, blah. How do you guys feel? And I feel like you guys are kind of mixed in the comment section as usual, as it always is in every comment section. Some people are like, he was young, forgive him or whatever. But there's always somebody also too that are like, yo, forget about that. The stuff that Chris Brown does now is wild. He just hasn't been caught for it. And these are some of the stories that we have heard. You would think that he would learn from the blackballing that he has gotten already in the industry from the Rihanna situation. This is just your ego walking around thinking that you're untouchable. This is crazy to me. Anyways, he's being held without bail. I told you guys yesterday, I heard that he is making calls to try to have the U.S. get him out. I don't know if that's going to happen, but we'll see. I'll follow up with you guys on Monday's podcast and let you know. Crazy. Let me know what you guys think about Chris Breezy in the comment section below. All right, this brings us to quick news. Ring my bell. Our first quick story. Dick's Sporting Goods acquires Foot Locker in $2.4 billion deal. All right, we're going to get to Don Richards in quick story number 2. I think I mixed this up. I should have talked about Don first, but y'all know I was in retail. This has to do a little bit with tariffs and all that stuff, but this is a big deal, so I wanted to tell you all about it quick, all right? Dick's Sporting Goods has officially confirmed its acquiring of Foot Locker in a deal worth $2.4 billion, shaking up the sportwear and footwear space. The announcement follows growing speculation after merger rumors started surfacing across financial and retail sectors yesterday. Lauren, the CEO and president of Dick's Sporting Goods, issued a statement reflecting the confidence in the future of the newly adapted branded family. We look forward to welcoming Foot Locker's talented team and building upon their experience and passion for their business, and we intend on honoring and amplifying them together. That is crazy. Dick's Sporting Goods has 800 stores, and Foot Locker has 2,400 stores. Foot Locker has been going down for a while. Y'all know I've been in the footwear industry for close to 10 years. This is huge news, huge news. Also, I feel this has to do with the way that the like tariffs and things are moving and the retail landscape. So I wanted to throw this in. Foot Locker has sold to Dick's Sporting Goods. Crazy. Anyways, we'll maybe talk about it more next week. Let's go to Don Richards. Our second quick story. Don Richard arrives at courthouse as a witness in Diddy'S federal sex trafficking and racketeering trial. All right, I have a little video. Here is Dawn making her way into the courthouse. Take a look. Don Richard arrives to testify in Diddy'S XCX trafficking and racketeering case. As previously reported, Don filed a lawsuit against Diddy in 2024, accusing him of SA, depriving her of food and putting hands on her. She also stated she witnessed Diddy putting hands on Cassie multiple times. All right, we might try to dig into this a little bit more on Monday, but right after Cassie rapped, they brought in an agent that I think it was when Diddy was arrested. She confirmed that there was some DRUG in the room, some pink DRUG, that there was a bag with some clothes, and then they cross-examined and said, were there some women clothes? Yes, okay, you can leave. That was 2 seconds. And then Dawn came up, and Dawn really just testified about seeing Diddy put hands on Cassie, and it was a follow-up of, hey, the next day, how did you feel? Hey, I felt like I couldn't go to the police because I felt like I would be unalived. Now, the prosecution cross-examined quickly, and she was done. From what I know, I'm assuming she's done. They might bring her back up on Monday, but I think that was it. She was just there for like half an hour, and Monday, there's going to be another. Let me see if I can get it on my phone and tell you guys who it is. I just lost it. Anyways, so it looks like Dawn was really there just to confirm that Diddy put hands on her, which again might seem a little bit repetitive, but you just want to bring in a witness. But what she was there to kind of drive home was the fact that Cassie couldn't go anywhere and Cassie couldn't do anything. You didn't feel in this organization, which leads back to Rico, that you could go on and just leave, that you had a fear of being unalive. So he was running this organization out of fear, which indirectly saying that the Freakoffs and the SEX was out of fear. Here's another person on the label that witnessed it, and in her own case, civil case, says that she experienced it. So that was Dawn. From what I know, Dawn is done. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Our third quick story. Diddy associates are seeking a Trump pardon. All right. In a new report by Rolling Stones, Diddy's allegedly got people on his side working towards getting a Trump pardon. All right. I don't have a screenshot of this, but yesterday in the comment section, somebody wrote, Trent out loud, what happened to the Trump pardon? The Trump pardon, literally like 5 times to make sure that I see it. For those of you who followed me since this whole Diddy scandal, I've been telling you guys that I had heard from sources that Diddy is working diligently on getting a Trump pardon. And a lot of y'all didn't believe me. No way he would do that, whatever. Here's a Rolling Stones article that's telling you. Now, we're not going to do a deep dive into this now. It's Friday night. I want y'all to enjoy your night. or whenever you're listening to this, but we're going to talk about this a little bit more on Monday. But two things. When you hear me or other people say things, I want you guys to know that, like, well, I think for the most part, like, we have integrity, and that's why we have the platform that we have. If I'm telling you something, it's not because I'm making it up. And more importantly, I'm not telling you because I want Diddy to get a pardon. And I'm not telling you because I want Trump to give him a pardon. I'm telling you because I legitimately hear from people that that's what he's trying to do. And Trump cannot give somebody a pardon now. You can only get a pardon once you get a verdict. So Diddy is going to try everything he can to get out on bail. He's going to try everything he can to not go to trial. He's going to try everything he can to get a mistrial. Then he's going to try everything he can to get an appeal. And then he'll try to get a pardon. That's just the reality of the situation. It doesn't mean that that's what I want. So you can comment all the time and try to drag me and be like, oh, where's the pardon? Where's the pardon? Yo, it's a fact. Rolling Stones is also reporting it. If you don't want to trust me, hopefully you at least trust Rolling Stones. And just know that the pardon will only come after if he's convicted. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Our fourth quick story. Fire destroyed largest plantation home in the country. A fire has destroyed the main house on the Notting Way plantation, the largest plantation still standing in the U.S., built in 1859 by, y'all know the people who it was built by, all right? According to the WAFB9, the fire broke out at the house in Louisiana Thursday shortly after 2 p.m. Staff reportedly noticed smoke upon entering the second floor museum room and discovered flames after briefly leaving and returning. The fire is believed to have originated in one of the bedrooms on the second floor. Though the exact cause remains under investigation, no injuries have been reported. While its early history is undeniably tied to a time of great injustice, over the last several decades, it evolved into a place of reflection, education, and dialogue. The 42-acre property, known for its historical significance, featured 40 rooms, a restaurant, a bar, a fitness place, and other amenities. Here is a video. Take a look. Now, I know they're trying to say that in the past couple of years that it's a place of like reflection and stuff, but hey, I don't know. I'm not really sad that it's gone. Y'all let me know what you think in the comment section below. All right, this brings me to my favorite segment, comments of the day. All right, normally I start off comments of the day with telling you guys about Aura, the all-in-one digital platform that sponsors our comment of the day segment. However, I'm going to save that till the end today because I want to have a heart-to-heart with you guys, especially some of the women that were in the comment section yesterday. Yesterday, I spoke to you guys about Cassie and her text messages. And since the beginning of this, I said, I want to cover this, this court case from a legal perspective and give you guys the nuances of the law because I'm very experienced in it. And I think that in my coverage from a legal perspective, I think that it kind of gets lost in how Trent actually feels. And I could tell by a lot of your comments, and I'm going to read the comments in a section, but you guys were like, Trent, I'm really surprised you feel this way. I still love you, but I'm looking at you, with a side eye. Like Linda said that. She's like, Trent, are you sure this is how you feel? And it's led me to know now that I'm going to report this case differently. And if you guys watched today, you'll see that I'm more talking to you about how I personally feel and less from a legal standpoint. So that's why I always say I do this podcast with you guys and I read all your comments because your comments showed me that I wasn't necessarily doing something wrong in telling you guys the legal side, but I was forgetting and not focusing more on the personal side. And I feel from your comments, you guys were missing that. So thank you so much for showing me that. Anyways, I made notes, as you guys know. So I read a lot of your comments and I was a bit shocked that you didn't that you really didn't realize who I was. As much as I am open with you guys, I think I made a mistake because you guys don't know my entire life, right? And I have to also take that with a grain of salt. And I'm like, yo, you guys know me. But I think more what I'm trying to say is I can't expect you guys to know exactly everything in my life, right? A lot of you guys just came onto this podcast 6 or 7 months ago, and no, you don't know me. Again, I'm going to read the comments. And you guys were explaining to me how it feels. Well, I shouldn't say you guys. Some people, some women in the comment section were explaining to me how women that come out of these relationships with men putting hands on them, how they feel. And without going into too much detail, I grew up in a household that was like that. So I do know firsthand the experiences that a woman has to go through. I know what they go through during and after, and how long it stays with them. And I also know how that makes the rest of the family feel and how it makes a child feel. I'm going to show you guys the first chapter in my book, and I'm just going to put it up on the screen here. My first chapter is Growing Up in Pain. Now, my books are, yes, it is a business book, but I've told you guys before that my books are split up where I talk about starting and growing my business for my entrepreneurial journey, but I also tell you my personal journey. And that's what's cool about my books. You see both sides about personal and business, and I take time out and show you guys both. Now, I shouldn't have to say this, but this is in no way trying to sell my book. It's not even available anymore. I'm really just trying to show you my experience. Now, I'm going to show you a little snippet out the book. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but I'm going to put it up on the screen, and you guys can pause this and read this if you would like. Just trying to show you guys a little bit more of the experience and how much I know about men and putting their hands on women. So I'm going to just take a second. You guys want to read the screen? All right, I can't take too much of a long pause, but hopefully you're able to pause it, or hopefully you actually paused it and read the whole thing for yourself, okay? So let's get into the comments. The first one is Linda. All right, there's a little bit of a graphic explanation, so I had to, blank out some stuff, but you guys will get it. Trent, I really hope you see my message. My family member, the person that was putting hands on her, tried to unalive her several times, and she was in the hospital, and there was things involved also with kids, okay? No matter what happened, she went back. He had her sell some things and also DRUG, okay? She met nice guys that wanted to help her out of the situation. Nothing worked. For all of you that don't understand, I'm sure there's books out there. Read, educate yourself, then you will understand. When you're in doubt about something, research before you let yourself be so negative. Linda, I am very, very sorry that your family member had to go through that. And like I just showed you in my book, I do not have to read books about that. I have lived it since I was a little kid. And that was my first experience in therapy. So trust me, I understand. And I hope I did not come off negative when reading those text messages yesterday. And I hope I did a better job of giving you guys my personal opinion today when I read Cassie's text messages. But just know that I understand everything that Cassie is going through firsthand. Okay. Well, I guess not firsthand, but secondhand as a kid that grew up in that. Again, sorry that your family member had to go through that. And I fully understand the women that don't leave. I'll even get into it a little bit more. As a kid, I actually begged my mother to leave, cried and begged for years. I just showed you guys one paragraph, but that's how I started off my book. And that's why my mom and I are so close today. Okay. Now, second comment is from Margaret. Margaret said, "You are a man. You don't know how it is to fear the person you love." Again, I 100% know that secondhand. And just because you're a man doesn't mean that that's an excuse not to understand that. I feel like anybody with 2 cents in their head will be able to understand that a woman going through that, not leaving, is not evidence or proof that she wants to do it again. I mean, I really think that anybody can see that, okay? And I don't think that even if a man is saying that, oh, I can't understand that, then he's lying, okay? It's clear if somebody is in a relationship where somebody's putting hands on you and you stay, it doesn't mean that you want it. Let's just make that clear. Second of all, again, just to reiterate, when I was reading those text messages yesterday, I was really trying to reiterate the jury's mind, and also in this case, which I'm trying to point out from a legal perspective, that Diddy is not on trial for putting hands on Cassie. That's not what he's on trial for. The reason why they keep talking about him putting hands on her is that the prosecution is trying to make you think that he put hands on her so that she stayed and did more freak-offs. Now, that is evident, obviously, because he's trying to put hands on her to control everything. However, again, this is the legal side. The prosecution has to try to find times or proof that he actually did that for those acts of sex for him to be guilty. And that's the point I was trying to get across. Not if it's right or wrong. We all know that he's wrong. I start off every podcast by saying that he's wrong. So I hope that gets through. And like I said, I hope I did a better job of articulating that today. And the last one is from my homegirl, Melva. Now, Melva watches every single show. She comments more than anybody. And she's even DM me, and we've had conversations. So shout out to Melva. And no, Melva and I don't know each other personally, but we know each other through my podcast. But it's really, when I saw a Melva comment, I was like, ooh, okay, hold on a second. I got to clear some things up. But see, this is what's good about Melva. She wrote it in the way that she understood that I was putting myself in the jurors' shoes. She wrote, "I hope the jurors don't see things as you think they could be thinking." Thank you so much, Melva, for writing that. I hope the jurors don't see things as you think they could be thinking. Telling him she's ovulating is telling him no. And then she said, "Those text messages tell me she's a child who wanted to be wanted by him. She feels that she needs to please in the way he wanted. You're forgetting that he's a bad person, or you have no idea what a bad person does to the emotions or mind of the person being coerced." So that's when I was like, oh, even Melva doesn't think I have an idea. So she started out with I loved Melva's wording. I was like, thank you. You know that I'm just trying to be in the mind of the juror. But then when Melva even questioned, is like, maybe Trent doesn't know. No problem. I will really be very forthright. I'm going to start off by telling you, hey, I know what's in Cassie's mind. I know what she's thinking. I know how she's feeling 100%. But I'm still going to say, yo, the lawyers are dirty and they're trying to do this. And as a result of them trying to do this and trying to at least get over on one juror, is trying to at least have a hung jury, and it will end in a mistrial. All right. So hopefully that is it. I think about that. I said going forward, I'm going to give my personal and emotional. I'm going to give my personal emotions, opinions first, then my legal opinion, because I said what I was going to do. Yeah. All right. I said everything. I covered everything. All right. Oh, I hope that settles everything up. And now that we're done with that, I have a very, very serious question for y'all. All right. Hold on. This is not the right paper I have. Hey, where's my paper? Oh, yeah, here it is. I have a very serious question for y'all. Okay. Is your computer, laptop, cell phone vulnerable to data breaches? We got to go to this, huh? Well, let me answer that question for you. Yes, you are. If you are not using Aura, the all-in-one digital security platform, go to my sponsor below, aura.com/Trent Out Loud to get a free 14-day trial to see if any of your data has been exposed. Y'all know I'd be joking around when I'd be reading this, but you really, really should know if you've been exposed, and it's for free, all right? If you've ever wondered how scammers get your phone number or why your inbox is filled with spam, here is why. There are companies called data brokers that sell your data. They do it without your consent, and they make billions of dollars selling your information to marketers, scammers, and even stalkers. That is why I'm recommending today's sponsor, Aura, to my family, friend, and out louders. Aura takes care of the hard part for you, automatically removing your information off of sites and keeping them off. Aura is an all-in-one digital security platform. You may already have a digital security tool, but not having Aura is like having your front door locked and keeping your back door open. Trust me, you don't want to do that. With Aura, you get alerts if your personal data is found on the dark web, real-time fraud alerts for your credit cards and banking information, a secure VPN, antivirus, password manager, and they have US-based support around the clock if anything does go wrong. And honestly, they have the best customer service ever. They are the nicest people. Of course, that's why I'm working with them. Now, if anything does go wrong, Aura also includes a $5 million identity theft insurance package. You really have no fear. If you're ever on your phone or ever on your computer and you see any weird stuff, if anything ever goes wrong, $5 million identity theft package. What more do you want? Try my link for free in the description below, right here below, or I'll put up the QR code. If you guys want to just take out your phone, turn on your camera, it will take you right to the link. Super important. It is free. It is free. It is free for 14 days. You just sign up, go, and they will go through all of your stuff and you'll get alerts. Hey, your email is here. Somebody has your credit card. Somebody has your phone number. Somebody has this. You cannot tell me that your computer does not have spam or you don't get spam phone calls. Aura could get rid of all that for you for free. They just want to show you how good they are. It's up to you if you want to continue. If you don't want to continue, that's fine. I'm continuing because, as I told you guys when I first signed up or when I first got them as a sponsor, I never even heard about Aura and it was a nightmare and I got all my stuff locked up. I had to go change everything. That's the reason how I found Aura. And now I want to help you guys out and you guys can have Aura free, clean up all of your stuff, done. And then, hey, if you want to stay, you stay. For those of you who don't know or haven't heard of Aura, just want to show you how big they are. They used to be the badge logo for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Here is Anthony Edwards and here is Karl Anthony Towns. They are the leaders, the biggest. Trust me, sign up for free. Just give them a chance to show you what they can do. All right. It's amazing. Thank you guys very much for all your comments. Like I always said, good or bad, I love the comments. I love talking with you guys. I love going back and forth. I love learning and growing. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And even if you still feel like I'm not covering it good, please feel free to continue commenting below. This is what this podcast is all about. So thank you very, very, very much. Yeah, that's it. Keep commenting. All right, this brings us to sports news. All right, I know there's some NBA that we can cover in this podcast, but I want to take a time out to shout out the WNBA who is starting their season this Saturday. Make sure y'all tune in. If you guys watch my podcast daily, you know how much I love the WNBA, and you know who's my favorite, right? Angel Reese. What up, Reese? Yo, they have her going against Caitlin Clark. I think it's 3 p.m. Saturday. Make sure you don't miss it. I love what the NBA is doing. And the NBA, they're not playing any games. They're in the middle of playoffs and they're not playing any games. They're giving all the women their chance to shine. Love this for them. Make sure y'all check out the WNBA. You might be on Caitlin Clark's side or Angel Reese. It doesn't matter. This is so good. This rivalry is amazing. This is Magic, Bird, Steph Curry, LeBron, Jordan, Detroit, like rivalry, man. This is what's gonna take the WNBA to the next level for the next, 10 or 15 years. So shout out to Angel Reese, Clayton Clark. Make sure y'all tune in. WNBA. All right, y'all, that is a wrap on our special edition Friday night episode or Saturday morning. I don't even know when I'm going to get this up, but thank you so much for kicking with me. I hope you liked the episode. I think we might have to start doing this a little bit more. If there's some really good testimony on Friday and information that I have to get with y'all, I'm just going to have to start doing a special edition podcast every week. I can't have you guys waiting until Monday to find out what's going on. Yo, you guys follow me because I keep you guys up to date. We might have to start working overtime, yo. Let me know if you guys want me to keep on doing this. I'm sure you're going to, but of course, let me know in the comment section below. All right. Before I let you go, just want to remind you just want to remind you of all the ways to keep up with the Trent Out Loud podcast. For those of you who are watching on YouTube, if you're ever going on a flight or you're going in a car, you don't have internet, and you're wondering, how do I watch your Trent Out Loud podcast? Have no fear. We're available on all podcast platforms. Just go to any podcast site, type in at Trent Out Loud, the show will pop up. Don't forget to hit the follow and subscribe button so you can be notified every time we upload new shows, and we upload daily. And you could just go onto that site and download the episode and take us with you. That's the beauty of podcast platforms. Now, vice versa, that was for my YouTubers. Vice versa, for my podcast listeners who are used to listening to the Trent Out Loud podcast on podcast platforms, thank you so much for the downloads. And the comment section over there is pretty poppin'. I see that it's starting to warm up over there. However, I suggest, and the Out Louders suggest, you come on over and hang out with us over on YouTube. It's a vibe over here, man. Out Louders. This is where we all get together and hang out. It's a good experience. I know Shopify has video, but like I said, the Out Louders are on YouTube. So head on over to YouTube, type in Trent Out Loud, the show will pop up. A couple of housekeeping rules. Hit that subscribe button. That's your membership into the fam. Hit that like button. We got to get the algorithming. Most important, please comment. As I told you guys today, if you learned from today's episode, I really, really read my comments. I really take them to heart. I really need your feedback. I really need to know how things are going. I do a solo podcast, but it's really a podcast with you guys. If you guys are not commenting, I'm literally just talking to myself, and that's really, really boring. For those of you who don't want to get involved with the conversation, no pressure. Just simply just comment, hey, what's up, Trent? And let me know where you're commenting from. I like this, that the fact that it's a global podcast and for everybody to see, what country you're in. I actually saw a comment from somebody that said, hey, Trent, I just want to know, do we have to comment to participate? No, you could still obviously listen. You don't have to comment. It's just something that I think is fun for us to do. All right. For those who are really enjoying the show, please try to share it with your family, friends, and loved ones, because it definitely helps in growing the channel. We appreciate you. Thank you. For those of you who want to follow me outside of the podcast, I'm available on all podcast platforms. It's always the same handle, Trent Out Loud. I'm the most active on Instagram. On Instagram, I'm always posting up your comments on my stories, so make sure you check me out there. But yes, I'm available on all of them. And we also just started a blog page on Instagram, and the handle is Formerly Out Loud, FORMALLY Out Loud, Formerly Out Loud. There is where we'll put like the extended coverage. All of these transcripts, I'll put them up there. Extended videos, things will have copyrights, things that I cannot play on YouTube for copyright reasons. We'll put it up there on Formerly Out Loud. So you want to follow and get some extra information, you could follow over on Formerly Out Loud. Thank you guys for an amazing, amazing week. I'll see you either Sunday night or Monday morning. Have a great weekend. Be safe out there. Peace. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Trent Out Loud. Peace!